It's a common observation in organizations. A simple project seems to grow more complex when its deadline is far away. A team might take an entire month to complete work that, under different circumstances, could be finished in just a week. The reason for this often isn't about the people doing the work, but about the system they're working in. Let's look at a familiar situation. A manager assigns a standard task to a team, maybe preparing a quarterly report. The team is given a deadline of 2 weeks, which seems like a reasonable, even generous amount of time. The team gets to work. There are meetings, drafts, reviews, revisions, and, almost predictably, the final report is submitted right as that 2-week deadline arrives. Now, a few months go by and the next quarter ends. The very same task, creating an identical report, is assigned to the exact same team. But this time, there's a key difference. An upcoming company presentation means the deadline is much shorter. The report is needed in just 1 week. So what happens? The team organizes, they focus only on the essential elements, and they complete the entire report. It's submitted, completely finished, right at the 1-week mark. So think about that. The task didn't change. The team didn't change. The only thing that changed was the time they were given. And the work fit perfectly into that new, smaller container. This points to a fundamental dynamic in how work gets done inside an organization. The explanation, it turns out, isn't really about the work itself. It's about the relationship between the work and the time we set aside for it. This leads to a key observation. Work seems to expand to fill the time that's available for its completion. It's almost like an elastic substance. It can stretch or compress to fit whatever container you put it in. And it's not just the time that changes. The scope of the work itself tends to change too. When you have a tight deadline, the focus stays on the core requirements. But with a longer deadline, the project becomes more complex. Maybe more features are added, more research is done, more revisions are made. The task itself actually grows larger. This happens because the central question often shifts. It stops being, how much time does this task really need? And instead it becomes, how much time do we have? The work is then simply paced to fit that available time. Now, this behavior isn't just a matter of individual habit. It's often a very rational response to certain pressures that are built right into the organizational structure. You see, using all the time you're given serves a real purpose within the system. It shows that an employee or a team is fully utilized, which in turn helps justify the existing team size and resources. Plus, appearing busy can also be a way to avoid getting assigned even more tasks on top of a current workload. And you can see this same principle play out in other areas, not just projects. Take meetings, for example. A discussion scheduled for an hour will almost always last the full hour. But if that same topic were scheduled for just 30 minutes, the same outcomes would likely be reached in half the time. The discussion just expands to fill the scheduled block. This tendency for work to fill up its allotted time can lead to another consequence. As an organization gets bigger, the system itself can actually start to generate more and more internal work. For instance, an official might want to hire some subordinates, but those new subordinates need to be managed, which creates a whole new layer of communication, reports, and approvals. This generates new tasks, and before long, officials are making up work mostly for each other. And over time, this can lead to a situation where the amount of effort spent on all that internal coordination, the memos, the meetings, the layers of management, can grow to be much, much larger than the effort spent on the original core task the department was created to do in the first place. What all of these dynamics point to is a fundamental trade-off, one that's right at the heart of how many organizations are structured and evaluated. The system is set up in a way that often optimizes for visible activity over efficient completion. The structure itself tends to reward the appearance of being fully occupied, sometimes more than it rewards just getting the task done efficiently. So the core trade-off is this. The system prioritizes the complete utilization of time and resources, but the price for that is often a much less direct path to the finish line.